The news of Mireya's pregnancy will undoubtedly change the course of Tommy's life. It would be an incredibly fascinating look to examine what Tommy would do because he's so close to getting everything he wanted in his quest to take over Chicago, but would he give it all up to ride into the sunset with his new family? I fear he won't be able to have both, which should set us up for a killer end to Tommy Egan's journey as he reconciles with his hopes for a family and his ambitions to be the king of Chicago. Tommy's manipulation skills sometimes surprise me because he's more likely to tell it to you straight than try to massage the truth to get what he wants. But then I remember that Ghost was his very best friend in the world, and it all clicks. This show isn't going to end without us seeing Tommy and Kate talk, right? Tommy and Vic tag-teaming Stacy was low-key funny because how could she not see something like this coming? So many smart people are getting played right now, and they genuinely do not see it. Stacy's in a bad spot right now, but you're foolish to think she's just going to be under Tommy's thumb from here on out and not do something about it. We don't know enough about Stacy to truly understand the source of her extreme short-sightedness. However, she makes threats as if they were insignificant, but she never appears to recognize or even take into account the fact that many of these individuals won't be intimidated by her official credentials. I apologize for not remembering everything, but Force Season 1 was released over 4 years ago, so perhaps I needed a refresher on all that had happened in this universe. For example, we discovered that the drive-by at the beginning of the hour was a direct revenge for someone Tommy killed when he first came in Chicago, and that Tommy's killing may have drastically altered the course of several people. Nevertheless, Tommy has persisted in pursuing Ortega and advancing his own agenda at every opportunity, which is terrific for him but not so great for everyone else, rather than upholding that coalition and bolstering it. I can see Tommy's desire for retribution, and because Ortega has already made multiple attempts to murder him, he has a right to receive his lick back. But once more, Tommy isn't thinking outside himself. Nobody wants to turn up like Chavo, and for that reason alone, gangs were dropping out of the coalition, which doesn't help Tommy at all. He and Diamond even admitted they need bodies. I can understand that Tommy wants revenge, and Ortega has tried to kill him more than once at this point, so he's entitled to get his lick back. But again, that's Tommy not thinking outside of himself. He can get to the top of the food chain. I wholeheartedly believe that. But he won't get there alone. He'll need CBI, and others at the end of the day, and these moves he's making aren't exactly endearing him to anyone. Though the name of the game right now seems to be the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so what do I know? However, it's crucial that Lennon and company send flowers to everyone in Power Book for Force Season 3. Even though Tommy is the main focus of this spin-off, Diamond and the others are not there to further Tommy's narrative. In fact, Diamond and Tommy's relationship is one of the first points of contention. It seems as though the show is reminding viewers that this is a two-way street. Hyman digs much further into Stacy Marks than she ever has before, and it's not pretty, but it is fun to watch. Lily Simmons takes things up another level as Claudia Flynn, while Shane Harper is a sleeper pick as Claudia's brother Vic. This poor guy is at times like the Milton of Force, he just wants to do his own thing, and people keep pushing him over. Yet what could be just a sad sack character feels so relatable thanks to Harper. It's no spoiler to say that people get hurt and worse in Power Book for Force. That's what audiences are used to from the entirety of the Power universe. Season 3 Episode 3 delivers plenty of fast-paced action and excellent Chicago cinematography. But it also feels like a graceful, if chaotic, winding down of this chapter in Tommy Egan's story. It was amusing to see Tommy and Vic tease her because she couldn't have predicted this kind of stuff. Many intelligent individuals are currently being duped, and they are truly unaware of it. Although Stacy is currently in a difficult situation, it would be naive to assume that Tommy will continue to control her without taking any action. After his hectic day, he returned home to find Mireya lying about Claudia's pregnancy and scrubbing her blood off the bar stools. This will undoubtedly come to light at the worst moment for the couple. Tommy's life will definitely change after learning about Mireya's pregnancy. Tommy is so close to achieving all of his goals in his quest to conquer Chicago that it would be fascinating to see what he would do. Would he sacrifice everything to ride into the sunset with his new family? I worry that he won't be able to have both, which should build up a thrilling conclusion to Tommy Egan's trip as he balances his aspirations to become Chicago's king with his desire for and Samson is also making his own ill-advised choices. For Season 3, Episode 5 opens with the Yardies performing a drive-by shooting to get revenge for something Tommy did much earlier. Diamond talks about bringing the Yardies into the fold instead of killing them, and then proceeds to just kill everybody anyway, including taking out the boss Zamost himself. Season 3 has been violent even by this show's standards, and Diamond bringing in 2 motorcycle riders to spray bullets everywhere is another example of that. Tommy has no clue about this incident until Shanti tells him, which will put Diamond on the hot seat, too. This is an episode that completely changes the complexion of the show, so close to the finish line. Claudia's death is huge, but can anyone fill her shoes as far as providing a formidable foe for Tommy to battle at the end? Or will viewers find themselves wishing that Tommy and Claudia had played a much longer cat-and-mouse game? The last dance is more like a new beginning. They want a fight, and they're about to get one. Elsewhere, Power Book for Season 3, Episode 4 has other plot points set up for the middle part of the story. Miguel Garcia's olive branch to his sister is actually just a setup to assassinate Tommy. It feels like a new low for him. Everyone knows he hates Tommy, but for Miguel to use his own sister as an unwitting pawn is brazen. On the flip side, the manipulation Claudia's brother Vic is doing of Ray is starting to feel oddly genuine, maybe because Vic has spent so long getting squeezed by everyone else. But the idea of him getting some amount of happiness is appealing, even if it probably also won't last. The dynamic between Jenard and Shanti is proof of that. He goes to extreme lengths to win back her trust, when Shanti has no hesitation seeking out other business partners. The beginning of Season 3 made them look like a unified front against Diamond and Tommy, but now it's a lot murky. Oh, and Mireya Garcia is pregnant with Tommy's baby. That piece of information is happyish for her, but it's bittersweet that Mireya backs away from telling Tommy after seeing Claudia's blood on the floor of the loft. Does the Power universe really have room for a baby when people die pretty much every week? How will Miguel react when he finds out, because he will? And Tommy, for all his heart, isn't exactly dad material, as scenes between him and J.P. Gibbs in The Last Dance illustrate. Tommy cares about the people he loves, including getting revenge for Liliana's murder years later. But he's not a safe person to be around, and he doesn't seem like a guy who can settle down any more than he already has. The Last Dance scores a big win for Tommy in taking out Claudia, but it also starts carving away at his support system. Vic, even if he got strong-armed into it, was a resource for Tommy. Diamond is off making his own moves with Jenard. Shanti's words to Tommy very much sound like a warning. Stacy might be in Tommy's pocket financially, but any help she gives is going to be kicking and screaming. Our book for Season 3, Episode 4 has other plot points set up for the middle part of the story. Miguel Garcia's olive branch to his sister is actually just a setup to assassinate Tommy. It feels like a new low for him. Everyone knows he hates Tommy, but for Miguel to use his own sister as an unwitting pawn is brazen. On the flip side, the manipulation Claudia's brother Vic is doing of Ray is starting to feel oddly genuine, maybe because Vic has spent so long getting squeezed by everyone else. But the idea of him getting some amount of happiness is appealing, even if it probably also won't last. The dynamic between Jenard and Shanti is proof of that. He goes to extreme lengths to win back her trust, when Shanti has no hesitation seeking out other business partners. The beginning of Season 3 made them look like a unified front against Diamond and Tommy, but the notion that Tommy is losing control of his surroundings because his emotions are finally overwhelming him was emphasized throughout the episode. His judgment is being impacted by the depth of his bond with Mireya. She appears to be living off of ice cream and is unable to tolerate cigar smoke, which poses issues that the episode is obviously pointing to. Tommy's personal life has become so complicated that he even straps her up for safety. The show is creating tension around the identity of the person who will ultimately pull the trigger. While Stacy is being compromised by a dishonest agent in her task force, he is providing Tommy with information about Stacy. Long before Claudia finds her own way out of prison, her conceit is preparing Elise for a sad exit as she continues to cling to her self-appointed reputation as the White Devil. Another highlight is the increasing hostility between Tommy and Miguel. Tommy and Miguel are more alike than they would like to acknowledge. They both thrive in disorder and use violence to cover up their emotional It was amusing to see Tommy and Vic tease her because she couldn't have predicted this kind of stuff. Many intelligent individuals are currently being duped, and they are truly unaware of it. Although Stacy is currently in a difficult situation, it would be naive to assume that Tommy will continue to control her without taking any action. After his hectic day, he returned home to find Mireya lying about Claudia's pregnancy and scrubbing her.
Monet fiercely fights for her family to become whole again, but is it too late? Noma is working her way to the top of the food chain. Meanwhile, her daughter, Anya, gets too close to the game, forcing Noma to think twice about her actions.
Dark clouds forming in the heavens over me, but I say hallelujah anyway.
As they held their guns up towards each other, Monet told Tarek that she knew they both had a lot of reasons to want to take each other out, but she had a better idea. She proposed that if he give her kids the pass, she'll give him one too. Monet explained that all she cared about at the moment was making sure her family was safe, especially her grandbaby. Tarek, who is obviously still shell-shocked by the news, lowers his gun before leaving the house. That episode ends with Tarek pulling up to the party/concert Braden put together for No Lie. When they finally catch up, Braden breaks down all the logistics of how their business will run and Tarek is very impressed. When Braden is done, he asks Tarek how things went with the Tejadas. Tarek tells him that he might not drink before he gets into it and also says that needed to hit the blunt Braden was hitting at the moment. As the two sit at the bar, Tarek spots Anya. He walks up and offers to pay for her drinks as he introduces himself. She tells him that she can pay for her own drinks. Tarek responds by saying he could see that but she shouldn't have to. She loved the line and introduced herself. The episode ends with Tarek telling Anya that it's nice to meet her. That boy cold. Power Book 2, Ghost continues to dominate television screens as it approaches its mid-season finale in its final 10-episode run. This spin-off from the original Power series, which concluded in 2020, has garnered significant attention, with Season 4 attracting 6.5 million multi-platform viewers during its debut week on Starz. Michael Rainey Jr. portrays Tarek St. Patrick, the son of James St. Patrick, known as Ghost, a former drug lord and businessman. Tarek, who killed his father in the original series, now navigates a dual life as an Ivy League college student and a drug dealer. Season after season, viewers witness Tarek's attempts to earn his inheritance through education, only to be drawn deeper into a life of crime. He embodies the legacy of Ghost, version 2.0, as per the report by Radio Times. Adding to the complexity, Detective Don Carter, Michael Ealy, enters the fray, determined to bring down Tarek and his associates, including federal agent Angel Young, with ties to Paz and Angela Valdez. The impending threat forces Tarek and his loved ones into precarious situations, testing their resilience and alliances. The Starz app offers streaming for every Power franchise installment, including Power Book 2, Ghost. Fans excitedly await the dramatic finale of this spin-off, which functions as a sequel and a standalone story in the Power universe, as the series gets more intense with each new episode release.
Despite the Starz show's lengthy hiatus between seasons, the third season debut does not reassure viewers of its world. The major strength and flaw of Do or Die is that it expects the audience to board the moving train again. However, it is untrue to suggest that the series is complacent. Although the Power Book 4 Season 2 finale was about 2 years ago, there isn't a comparable time jump on screen. If you haven't watched the finale again, you'll be a little confused at first because details about who is where and who is having issues with whom are revealed quickly. Having said that, there are plenty of memorable moments across the hour, and they start early. It's not Tommy Egan who gets the first jaw-dropping scene, it's his girlfriend Mireya Garcia, still portrayed with a ton of ferocity, also recognizable from her scene-stealing role as Anna Avalos on Chicago PD. Mireya begins Season 3 in a heated argument with her brother Miguel about Tommy, threatening to kill Miguel and then herself. It's a chilling start to the season to see her with a gun under her chin. And in true power fashion, that's just the first act of potential violence.